Chassid, and he was very talented, very talented in learning Torah and everything. And he knew the books of Kabbalah and knew all the Torah. So he came to the Baal Shem Tov and he said, I understand that the Baal Shem Tov knows can understand the birds, what the birds say. Birds, cheeping, chirping. As I want to know, I want you to teach me the language of the birds. So the Baal Shem Tov said, it's not worth your while. Don't do it. Nothing good is going to come out of it. So I said, okay, I don't care. I want to learn. The Baal Shem Tov knows how to think, how to meditate, how to contemplate, how to fast, what the prayers you should say, special unifications of God's name, where to go. The man finishes. He's really, like I say, really talented. Goes out into the middle of the forest to this predetermined place, and he does what he's supposed to do, and he says the prayers he's supposed to say, and before that he fasted, and he did, and he goes, and suddenly he hears the birds talking. And the birds talking, and he hears the birds talking what's going to be in Russia, what's going on in what's going to be in Japan, what was going to be tomorrow, what's going to be in 3 days. And suddenly one of the birds says, you know that fellow Groisboich, the one that just learned from the Baal Shem Tov, said, well, tomorrow all of his ships are going to sink. All of his ships. So he says, oh, wow. He runs home. He's got like 13 ships on the dock filled with goods. Where he's a rich man. He tells his captains, none of my ships are going to sail today. None of my ships are going to sail. I want them all on the dock. So he heard the birds say, I'm sorry, I forget. He heard the birds say that tomorrow there's going to be a big storm at sea and all of his ships are going to sink. That's what he heard. So he ran down to the docks and he told them that our ships are not going to move from the docks. And the captain said, but there's other ships that have to come in. It's going to be big fines. We're going to have to pay. It's just for 1 day. But the fines are going to be tremendous. I mean, and they're going to get mad. He says, don't worry about it. I'll give bribes. And sure enough, the next day he has to pay like tens of thousands of dollars of fines. But sure enough, the next day, surprisingly, there came this huge cyclone or whatever it is in the sea. And it swept all the ships, wrecked all the ships. His ships were the only ships in the harbor. So he had the whole shipping industry cornered. So he thinks to himself, it's pretty good. Baal Shem Tov, I was right. He just didn't want any competition. It's working pretty good for me. Then next month he has to wait a month between each time. Next month he goes out in the middle of the forest and he hears the birds chirping. The birds chirping what's going to be in China, what's going to be in Russia, what's going to be in England, what's going to be tomorrow, next day. One of his sitting hears one of the birds chirping and he says, you know that Groisboich, the one who saved all of his ships? Well, tomorrow there's going to be a fire in his house. He's got a huge house and everything's going to burn down. All of his money, all of his bills, all of his checks, everything. He runs home and he gathers all of his servants together and he says, okay, everybody gets a free pass. Tomorrow, nobody comes to work. I don't want anybody in the place. Here's money. You can go on a trip, on a vacation. He gives all of them a large amount of money. They're all very happy, but I want you to leave right now. Everyone. And then he hires a special detective unit to go around his house and search to see if there's anybody left behind and to check if there's any fires, put out the fires immediately. And so he does, and he finds that there was this one old maid, one of his cleaning ladies, that she didn't hear about this whole thing about the gathering. Maybe she was asleep. And she was cooking something in her room. And as they came in to see, the drapes had just caught fire. Immediately, they pulled the drapes down, threw water on it, put it out. He took the lady, he gave her money, sent her away, and the guards went around the whole day, and the house did not burn down. Did not burn down. I said, oh, see, this thing that I know the birds talking really paid off. No, let's see. Maybe next month they'll give me investments, what to make. Goes out waits for a month, goes out in the same place, does the same prayers, the same unifications, Yehudim, everything he's supposed to do. And he hears the birds talking. The birds saying what's going to be in Russia, what's going to be in China, what's going to be in England, what's tomorrow, what's the next day, what's going to be. All of a sudden, one of the birds says, you know that fellow Groisboich, the one who saved the ships in his house? Says, well, next week he's going to die. End of message. So he says, wow, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do? Where am I going to run? What am I supposed to do? So he ran to the Baal Shem Tov and he said, listen, I want some advice. I heard the birds talk. The Baal Shem Tov said, I told you that it wasn't going to be good for you. If your ships would have all got sunk, so you would have lost half of your money, but it would have been a forgiveness for you. You would have been wiped out of all the bad things you did. If your house would have burned down, so you would have lost half of your money. God gave you another chance. But because you saved it, so you saved your money, but now you're going to lose your life. That would have been in place of your life. Now you have no choice, said the Baal Shem Tov. I don't know if I can change things or not, but you have to give all of your money away, everything. A poor person is considered to be like dead, and maybe God will change the decree and you'll live. And so it was. Have a good day, everyone. God bless you all. And see you at 3 o'clock. Class at 3 o'clock.
Toda Rabba. Good one.
Shalom.